people who pay attention. And I truly believe this because there's so much information that's free on YouTube. You can learn anything. You can learn how to start a business. You can learn how to grow a business. If there's so much great information and free information available, why are there not that many successful people? Welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello, and today's episode, we're going to be talking about why and how I hired my first business coach. I've heard this before. The fastest way to success or to achieving your goals is to find someone who has already been there and have them teach you or coach you on how to get there. Right? You need to find a guide, a mentor, someone who's been there, done that. And on a recent episode, I talked to Adam and Amanda New, and that was one of the keys to their success when they cleared over $500K in revenue in their first year of real estate investing. Part of that journey was finding and hiring a mentor / coach. I guess that's maybe kind of the same. I think a coach holds you more accountable. A mentor will help guide you. There's some distinction there, and I'm not exactly sure, so I'm just going to lump them together. But you want to get help from someone who has actually been there and done that. I've said this before, don't get advice from people who have not done what you want to do because they don't know, they have not been there. And so for me, I ended up pulling the trigger and deciding to work with a business coach this year. I'm investing, and I'm saying investing, not spending, because there's a big difference between expenses and investments. I'm investing $950 a month for the entirety of the year for access to 2 group Zoom calls a month with a few other business owners, as well as this business coach. That was slightly more affordable than just doing one-on-one coaching. I think, it's like half the price, but you get to also draw on the experience and the collective experience of the group. So there's value in that as well. And you may have heard this, I may have said this before, is that people who pay attention. And I truly believe this because there's so much information that's free on YouTube. You can learn anything. You can learn how to start a business. You can learn how to grow a business. So if there's so much great information and free information available, why are there not that many successful people? Because it's free. People don't value it. They assume it's always there. If they need to refer back to it, well, I watched this video, but I don't want to finish it. I'm busy. I got something else to do. And people go on with their day. If you drop $1,000 a month, or if you watched a video and they charge you $1,000 for it, and it's really truly valuable, chances are you're going to act on that because you want to get an ROI, you want a return on your investment. And so for me, for example, if I'm shelling out $1,000 a month, you bet I'm going to make some shit happen because I want an ROI on that money. And I do know and trust that I will get that and more because I did do my research on the person that I ended up working with. He's been on my radar for some time. We've got a lot of mutual friends. And he's doing the types of things that I'd like to do. He's speaking on stages. He's connected with very high net worth, high level individuals. I think he's even got a TV show that he's going to be on coming out soon. And so those are all things that gave me good proof that he is doing the big things that I'd like to do eventually as well. And so I've always been hesitant. I will also preface this by saying I've always been hesitant. I've always been kind of cheap in a way. Like I don't mind spending money and investing money, and even sometimes spending money on just fun stuff, because to me, money is just a way to access experiences and do fun things. Like I know that money is required to live a cool life, to be able to fly to cool places, to do the things that you want to do when you're there. Like money is required to do nearly everything, or at least for transportation, which makes up a huge expense. Like if I want to go to Indonesia, I guess there's probably a boat that can take me there, but like the fastest way is for me to get on a plane and fly over there. And usually international flights are not that affordable, maybe like $1,000. And if you go business class, first class, that only goes up from there. And so I know that money is important. And that's why I want to invest in myself so I can learn how to generate more of it at will, snap my fingers and generate more income, pretty much like a faucet where I can turn it on and off as I please. And ideally, if I could just have it on all the time where I've got recurring revenue coming in, those are the types of things that I'm looking to learn. There's other people in the group who've already figured it out. So now I get access to them. I can pick their brain in a way because we are all paying to contribute and to help each other out to level up in our businesses. And so this is likely what you are doing if you follow me. You may need some real estate help, and you're probably waiting just to see, am I delivering value to you consistently? Am I showing up no matter what? Am I showing the traits in a real estate agent that you would like to see before you make a hire? And actually, fun fact, I just got a DM today on Facebook Messenger, and someone reached out saying, hey, Chris, we're already pre-approved with the lender. My husband and I are looking to buy a house. And this was not a friend of mine. I'm not sure. We didn't really have any mutual mutual friends. I think we had one mutual friend and she's based in Houston. And I did ask, hey, if you don't mind me asking, how did you hear about me? Did you listen to my podcast? Did you see a social media post? Did someone refer you to me? And they had seen that a property had sold. I had helped win the listing or whatever, or I guess I was the listing agent. I'm not sure exactly which transaction they're talking about, but they Googled me and they watched a YouTube video. She said they did watch a YouTube video of mine and they have a call booked for me to speak tomorrow, a Calendly call. They booked tomorrow to talk about buying a house because they would like some help making an offer on a home in that area. So that's a perfect example of showing up, delivering value, putting yourself out there, and then someone else finding that and then making a decision based on that content, based on this content, for example, to work with you. And so that's what I did with my business coach. That's what people do when they want to work with me and they reach out for real estate help. And so chances are that you've probably done this with other people. There's different podcasts and products and things that you support whenever you do find people that you like and that you appreciate. And then going back to the whole paying thing, the people who pay attention. I mean, I'm saying that I know you can learn stuff for free. I know there are those people, the select few, who are going to make things happen. They're going to take massive action and they're going to get it done either way. They're going to learn for free or for paid, and they're going to execute on that. And knowledge isn't necessarily power. Execution is power, right? Applied knowledge is power. And so there will be people who are successful, but sometimes what I find is with the free stuff, it's just kind of all over the place. If you watched a video on a certain niche or certain topic, every video would have a slightly different variation. Maybe the core concepts would be the same, but you still kind of are left not sure what the exact steps are. Maybe they're just giving you just enough to get interested to pay for their course or get into their membership to learn the rest. And whenever the content's free, you also don't really have that pressure to apply the information. It's not as intense because you figure, hey, I didn't pay for it, so whatever. Worst case, I don't do anything with it. That's fine. All I did was spend 20 minutes watching this video. Versus if you invest in something, and ideally, if you invest in it, it better be high quality as well. But if you invest in it, and let's say it's an amazing course or mastermind or whatever, and it's expensive, you're going to value it more in most cases because I would assume that you value money and you value time. And most of us at first, when we first get started, $1,000 or $2,000 is a lot of money, right? It's a nice chunk of change. A lot of people can, if you're getting paid hourly, you can count how many hours it took to earn that. I remember when I was getting paid $6.35 an hour pushing carts at a grocery store when I was 17, I made that realization of like, oh my gosh, if I want to buy a new video game, which is $45 or $50, I got to work all freaking day. And that made me value that game a lot more. And that made me realize, wow, you got to spend that much time working for this little money to afford one video game. It's insane. And of course, now I've broken free from the time for money thing. But what I'm saying here is that $1,000, $2,000, hopefully you won't take that lightly. Although the goal is to get to that level where $1,000 is like what a dollar is to us right now. But it gets a little bit confusing when you have too much content. There's too much free stuff. There's it's saturated. There's a lot of examples. Not everyone knows exactly what they're talking about, but they're just good at making videos and getting views. And so they may not be telling the whole story. Versus finding a mentor, finding a coach who can actually guide you from start to finish, who has done the things that you want to do, who answers questions, right? YouTube, you may be able to watch the video and drop some comments, but if they've got 200 plus comments, you're just going to get a little heart from the creator most likely instead of a detailed answer specifically for you. And so by paying, you get access to the people at that level, and they're willing to go a little bit deeper to share more of the secrets. And the cool part too, for me, and this is just an idea for you, if you're thinking about finding a coach or working with somebody or, getting a mentor, is I have a board in Asana right now that has questions for my business coach. So as I think of random questions that I don't know who else to ask, like maybe my business owner friends, I could ask them. I wouldn't really ask people who are not, again, in the position that I'd like to be in, including my parents, as much as I love them. Like, I'm not going to ask them for advice on these things because I know they probably have no idea what to do here, or maybe the systems that they do currently are not what I like to follow or model, if that makes sense. So one of the examples I had was I signed up recently for like a life insurance or, one of these different products, term insurance. I forget. I signed up for a couple different things just as investments and like insurance policies. And they send over this big freaking 30-page front and back paperwork and all the terms and all the things. And so one of my questions for my business coach next time we chat is, how important is it to read through this? Do you have your attorney read it? Do you have the insurance person explain it to you so you don't have to read it? Or do you actually read it all? Because time is valuable, right? It's limited. And do I want to sit there and read for 3 hours when I can't change anything about it? Or should I just wait until I die in like I don't know. I'm not saying I want to die in 3 years, but like say I were to pass away, is that when someone should go in and read the details and get with an attorney to figure out what are the terms of this, what are the payments, that kind of thing. So I know it's important to sign stuff, but that's besides the point of this episode. What I really want to share is just that the way I'm thinking now is like, I have a question. Man, I could spend 5 hours watching all kinds of YouTube videos on this, or I can just ask my business coach and get straight to it on our next call, get my question answered in like 1 minute, and then move on to the next thing, instead of sitting here and ruminating and watching a video and watching another one. And then 4 videos later, I still don't really know what to do. And I've taken 3 pages of notes and then I end up doing nothing anyway, right? And many of you listening to this right now are probably like, yep, I do that. That's me. Because I've been there and I still tend to do that at times. And so I'm just really trying to value my time more, stop wasting time on all these things that are not really mission critical for me and that have to get done or kind of need to get done, but maybe they don't necessarily have to get done by me. And so that's it for today's episode. Make sure to seek knowledge from people who have been where you want to be. If you're hiring a business coach or signing up for mentorship or paying for a course or something like that, for example, it's investing in yourself. It's not an expense. It is an investment. And just make sure that when you pay, you're going to be more motivated to pay attention. So take action. Remember that knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge and execution equals power. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to catching you on the next episode of the podcast, and make sure to go to chrisbello.com/free and download my latest free scorecard. Catch you on the next one. Thanks so much.